Hey guys, welcome back to an all new episode of Comics Unchained. I'm your host, Sergio Sanchez, and as always, joining me is my brother in arms, Indiana Leon, and
Hello.
the voice from beyond, Crystal Roy.
Hello.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so this week we're here to talk about a couple of comic books, guys. So we are going to be looking at a few books this week and tell you if it's worth spending your money on. So, as always, we hope you enjoy the episode, and if you like what you're watching, leave a like, subscribe. Please subscribe. Do I have to beg? Do we beg yet? I think we have to beg.
I think since like day
We
one,
get
we've
I
kind
think
of
from day one
inadvertently
we've
been
been begging.
begging.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, we
really.
hope you enjoy the episode, and you guys ready? Because let's get to it. All right, bunch of yeah,
Be, be,
Oh, great.
but
This is so wonderful,
this
it's going
guys.
is
wonderful. All right, so yeah, we got a few books to talk about this week, but oh man, so first of all, I want to apologize for last week. Um,
right.
a lot of things came up, just bad timing. This week
That's
almost got canceled because I threw my back out. So I almost didn't want to do this, but I'm like, no, dude, gotta record. I miss talking with my buddy here, and it's just really relaxing. So we wanted to do this, and yeah, so picked up a few new books this week, and let's kick it off with Crystal.
oh,
Actually read
okay.
a book, and
I
I'm kind of
Yeah.
did.
excited for this one because
To
I don't know a
length.
lot about it. So what did you read this week?
I got Taskmaster. I was going through the
Okay.
comic and I saw it. I was like, oh, hell yeah, this actually looks good. And I started reading it and I actually like it. It's funny. And
Nice.
Sturdy was actually surprised about that when I
I
said he was.
was. I was because like okay, so like you look at Taskmaster and the character, and you're just like he's kind of a serious role you would think.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I'd say the same.
and
You
then
think?
with like everything coming out, like he's gonna be the big villain in Black Widow, right?
Yeah.
So I
Mm.
think it's really interesting that like she decided to pick up this book, and by no means is it a brand new book. It's been out for a while, so you can go pick it
Mhm.
up. But I didn't expect comedy writing coming from it, so I want to like pick this up and read it.
Yeah,
But
it is. It's funny. I like it. He made some jokes on it. I will tell you this, the first beginning of it, he was saying, "Hey, it's just a job and like murdering, it's just a job. You got to pay the bills, you got to do that."
you gotta pay
And
bills.
his worst job he's ever done, he even said, was golfing, and that's when it opens up, he is golfing. He's getting
That's
paid
nice.
to golf. So,
Wow.
I thought it was funny. Um so I definitely want to keep reading. I do have book 2 and I'm just missing 3.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah.
Shouldn't be that hard
It's
to find. I
hilarious.
just
I
gotta
like it.
track it down.
Nah, I think you should be
Oh
fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? Like, it's funny that like this character gets his own series. And I think it's been going for a little bit because I think they're on issue 5 now, right?
Yes, 5
Yeah.
is
Okay.
So
coming out.
so they're on issue 5, and I think it's really interesting because like you don't like when was the last time you seen Taskmaster in his own series? He's
His
like,
own series. I
yeah.
can't even think it was in the past 10 years, maybe.
I've always thought of him
I
as just
haven't.
always like that reoccurring villain for either like
Villain.
the
Yeah.
Avengers or Captain America, Spider-Man. I know he
Deadpool every once in a while.
Deadpool, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's just really interesting that they pick like that character to run a comic book off. But I mean, it probably going to be a lot bigger now that when his debut comes
Oh
in the Black
yeah.
Widow movie. Um,
I feel like those trade paperbacks are gonna go right off the shelves.
yeah, which
You know.
you know what, and I want to stress this, and I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and there's a few of my buddies online while we were playing Monster Hunter.
Of course.
And I was telling them one of the disappointing
Jesus.
things I hate is I really hope they don't take Taskmaster's design in the comic books and translate it to the like morph it into what the movie one's gonna look like because I don't like the Taskmaster design in the
I
movie.
I hate it. I'm gonna be
Um,
completely honest with you.
I,
It's
I l-
disgusting.
yeah, I love the generic feel of him being what he is, his costume in the comic book. So like I think it's really interesting, like the skull mask and everything, and then
Yeah.
them taking that away just to adapt it for the movies. If they do that in the comic books, dude, I'm out. Like I'm getting
Yeah.
really tired of that.
So upset.
Yeah, because I'm getting tired of it. Like all the characters
It's
are
been
doing it.
happening for years. Yeah.
Yeah, since the
Like.
movies happened. I mean, look at Vision. They took the red, green, and yellow,
Hmm.
and now he
Mhm.
looks like the Vision from the movies. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. And Tony
um,
Stark looks more and more like Robert Downey Jr. every issue.
yep. And then, oh, dude, and so like I was telling my buddies, dude, I'm like, because we were talking about like Guardians 3,
Uh-huh.
you know, and I was telling them, I'm like, dude, if they fuck up Adam Warlock, I'm gonna be so pissed because when I was growing up, he was one
Yeah.
of my favorite comic designs. Like I loved like the way that character looked with the skull in the center of his head, and
Hmm.
he just looked really awesome, dude. And I'm like, they're gonna fuck this character up.
They
I
might.
know it. I know it.
They might.
Um, especially because he's from those like gold people, so he's gonna look all gold and shit.
From
And
the cold people.
Mm.
I'm
Nice.
just like, dude, this is gonna be stupid. So like, I really hope they don't do that. But it was funny because as she's reading it, she's like laughing and stuff, and I'm like, Crystal, what the fuck are you laughing at? And she's like, no, this is funny, and I'm like, really? Because I just would have never have associated Taskmaster to being like a comedic relief character, which
Yes.
seems they went for in this book.
A good
For some
writer,
good
man.
reason, as I was reading it, it kind of, I hate to say this, but it kind of reminded me of Deadpool a little bit about
Okay.
his humor, about how he's narrating what's going on because he's riding a golf cart and the person who is chasing after him is has a dirt bike and he's like, "Oh, way to bring a golf cart to a I don't remember what he said, but it was
Like
fucking
a dirt
hilarious."
bike chase or whatever.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was funny.
In a golf cart. That's fucking hilarious. But yeah,
Nice.
man. So that's Taskmaster issue 1, right?
Yes,
All
issue
right.
one.
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
I mean, it sounds interesting. I'll probably check it out. Considering
I'm
Crystal's
down
got the
to.
book here. Um,
It's hard to find a funny book, and it's nice when you do.
the majority of them are what? Deadpool. That's all you have nowadays,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Mhm.
That's
There
true.
might be a handful of them out there, maybe, but like Deadpool
Hmm.
kind of holds the market on the off the wall nonsense humor thing.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
because I think they tried to do that with Gwenpool too, but that series
I
has been
did not care
canceled.
for it. Of
So,
course, it was canceled because it was ridiculous.
what? Prove me wrong. Those books are gonna be worth something.
Yeah, they
Watch.
sold. I'm sure. Whatever.
Yeah, they
So.
will. So, yeah, so there it is, guys. Taskmaster issue 1. You can check that out. It's in stores already. You might have to go into your backlog to find it, but
Yes, you're gonna have to because it took him a while to find number one for me.
oh, see that? So like, I mean,
Yikes.
and every time we read a book on this show, guys, we try to guarantee that you would probably like it. So we don't just
Yeah, so
grab
it's
like
worth the
every book
buy.
off the shelf and like,
Yeah.
hey, let's
Yeah,
read all
we
these
just go
books and
by.
tell
It's
people
like,
buy
oh,
them.
hey, let's. It's like, oh, I'll pick this book, and I'll pick this book. It's like,
Buy it or else. Like so. But yeah, guys, you can check that out now. But let's move on to our next one. Crystal, thank you, by the way.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
Good job.
I don't read much,
Good
but
job. Good job.
I know.
Here's a treat. Here's a treat.
oh yes.
There you
Want,
go. There you go.
want some candy?
Pet.
Oh, oh,
Pet.
pets.
Pet.
All
What was it? That
right.
was like a Wii game that did that. I'm sorry. I'm just like
That was the one with the
pet.
dogs, the
Pet.
10 dogs.
Yeah,
Remember?
but
Oh my
there was like
God.
a
So many hours spent on that crap.
like an automatron voice would be like pet, pet,
Pet.
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 It's like
I
stop.
like the fact that you could hit it. Like
Oh,
you
I know
tap
that
the
was so
screen with the
messed up.
E-pin or whatever they had.
That was so shitty.
Shit. But next up, let's break away from like a Marvel book. And Indy,
Yes.
what did you read this week, man?
Okay, so this is gonna be a little loaded, and I gotta condense some of it because it would be insane to watch a 2-hour podcast, but or a YouTube video.
Yeah,
But
it's okay. I'm still
so
getting used to it too.
this is a number one coming out of Image called Ultra Mega. When you look at the cover, you're immediately gonna get vibes of like you like the Sentai universe of like Power Rangers and all that
Oh, okay,
stuff.
okay.
Ultraman is a big one. Like there's a lot of like influence from that, right? But they took it in a very different direction. Um, story wise with James Herron, I believe. Yeah, James Herron, and art by Dave Stewart. Very just gritty, like very real.
Hmm.
A lot of action, very bloody, like wartime blood type stuff, like just insane battles. Uh,
Sounds like my kind of book.
yeah, I think you'll dig it, man. It's nuts.
Sweet.
And the
Crystal
crazy
likes the
part
bloody
is
stuff.
that
I do.
you're getting this really cool inner monologue of this character who is kind of man, how do I do? So you get a quick origin story, which I love because I've gotten so many origin stories over the years. I just want to get past that and let's get into the stuff, right? You know what I mean? Let's get into the dirt. Let's
Hmm.
do the cool things, right?
Hmm.
And the whole time you're thinking this is my character, right? This is my hero. Like this, we're gonna follow him all the way through. You get about halfway through the book, and he's no longer a main character. I'll just leave it at that. You definitely need to read it, and it's I think the thing that drew me the most is that the art it reminds me of that old school like late 80s early 90s where they were starting to make art more appealing, like people looked like people, they weren't just like circles with like what looked like a body, you know what I mean, like in those like early 70s and 60s comics that were like kind of
Okay, yeah,
blobs of
I
characters,
get what you're saying. Yeah,
you know what I mean. So you
like
get
kind of like when Jim Lee took his take on X-Men,
yeah, things became more
like
defined.
in the
Yeah,
early
like you
'90s.
saw muscles, you know what I mean, like
Hmm.
you saw head shapes, everybody had different heads and stuff like that, so very gritty art. It
Not
gives
where
me a lot of
everybody looked
those.
like doughy.
Yeah, exactly, before,
Yeah,
and that's
Joey.
cool and all, and it's vintage,
yeah,
but the going back to previous art style to compare it to now, the modern is very like defined and all that stuff. It was kind of cool to see this older kind of art.
right.
There's a
And
lot of twists and turns. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, no, no. I was just gonna point out like it, and if Crystal, if you look at like my background in some of the comics, if you look at like Action Comics right here, you've got Wonder Woman right here. You can see the artwork changes. Then if you go
Yeah,
over to Indie Screen, you can kind of see what he's talking about because
more
he's
what
got
I'm
some of the
talking
newer
about.
stuff
Yeah,
towards the bottom. Like
Okay.
if you look at like where it says Incredible Hulk and it's got Wolverine, he's got Spider-Man on there, he's got New Mutants on there.
more
So
defined.
it kind of changed the art style. But I mean that's something that comes
Yeah, with time.
with
Yeah,
time. You know,
an
that's
Mhm,
evolution
different
mhm.
of books.
different
Yeah,
processing of different artists breaking out of their
Yeah,
shell. You know,
I was
like
just confused because you said doughy. I was like,
yeah,
what?
well, they
go
can look. Yeah,
yeah
on the
go look
panels
at
especially.
go look at some of the older books, um, like anything in the like 80s, 70s, 80s. You'll see what I'm talking about. You'll be like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, I can kind of see that.
Okay.
absolutely.
But back to what Indy was saying.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're great. But yeah, so a lot of amazing world building, especially through the inner monologue. You find out what kind of a world they live in, how scary it is. Because there are some, I don't know why I keep running into this theme, but there's some horror elements within this book as well. It's like you see a panel and you're like, oh man, that's creepy. I'm gonna have to read this dialogue and I'm gonna get creeped out even more. I just know it.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
and again, it very gritty, not only in its story but in its art. Like
Mhm.
just really well done. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of long. They decided on their first issue they were basically going to release like volume 1 of a trade paperback
Uh-huh.
in like the amount of content, you know what I mean? So just know that it is a bit of a read, but it doesn't feel that way. You're going through it and you get sucked in right away, man. And by the end you get a really cool twist. Um and I can't wait for issue 2. I'm really excited for this book. I think it's going to do really well. I just hope it sells.
What was this called again?
It's called Ultra Mega.
Ultra
Ultra mega.
Mega.
Hmm
I'll have to check that out, dude.
I
Honestly,
think
I
you should
didn't
give it a
see it
look,
in my
man.
shops. So like I wonder if it was like one of those weird random pulls that like only some dealers got because I know
It
my
might have
comic book
been.
I didn't have it.
It's
Um
it's an it's an original IP. This is like totally new. This isn't like yeah, it's got its influences, right? Like I said earlier, like the Sentai stuff and
yeah,
Ultraman kind of stuff. But yeah, it's pretty good, man.
man. I might have to actually check that out. That sounds
Mhm.
actually really cool. I think it might be something Crystal might enjoy. She likes like a lot
Yes,
more
I
of the
think so. Yeah,
horror and
absolutely.
blood and gut stuff.
I do. I
Which
do. I'm
I
weird.
mean, so do I to an extent. It's got to be a good story. It's got to hold
Yeah,
up.
that's what for me too. That's why
Um,
like in the past with those kinds of books, the
so like
story's more evident.
Yeah, unless you're just going for like off the wall, goofy horror, violent shit. Like for me, my guilty sin was when they did the Ash versus Freddy versus Jason.
Oh yeah, those are fun.
Those were
Those are
just
fun.
fun books,
Yeah, yeah.
like popcorn books for me. So
Yeah, because you're never gonna
I
get it
really
in the
enjoyed them.
theater or on
Yeah,
TV, but hey, on a comic book, you can do just about fucking anything. So.
exactly. So speaking of horror, I actually got to a book that I said I was going to read last week,
Mm,
or on our last episode, and I did get to it, but I did get to it this week, and oh, did it blow me away? And I, of course, am talking about Marvel's recently released Aliens issue 1,
nice.
written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, and art by Salvador Larroca. Larroca? I don't know. You know me and names, man. I fuck
Yeah,
them up
I think
constantly.
it's good though. You're good.
But dude, this is like really cool. So it's like it's where the movie should have been going before we got like Prometheus from Ridley Scott.
Hmm.
Because the thing I don't like, I never liked about Prometheus is we took a step backwards. And
Okay.
honestly, what everybody wanted to see was more of Aliens 2, which was the Marines fighting the aliens, fighting the xenomorphs, which is where this book stems. So it's years later. We're still with Weyland Yutani. We're with
Wow.
one of their characters. He's getting ready to retire, but on his mission, on his like one of his last missions, his entire team was captured by xenomorphs. And he watched like you see like the face huggers attaching to them in front of them. You see a few of them die. Um, and so like he's just like, yo, I've worked for Weyland Yutani like my whole life. I was a good soldier. I was even better space station commander because that's where they're on. So he's
Hmm.
getting ready to head back to Earth. So this is what's really cool is we get to see Earth in the alien universe,
Okay.
which is like something we
Cool.
That's
haven't
like a
seen
first. Yeah,
in a
that's a first.
very long time, if
Hmm.
ever we've heard about it. The last time I ever heard of Earth being even acknowledged in the alien universes was at the end of Alien Resurrection, because they were landing on
Right.
Earth at the
Yeah,
very
yeah,
end of the
yeah.
movie. So the book takes place. You take your main character. I forget his name off the top of my head, and I didn't want to really go through it. Um,
It's
Actually,
all
I
right,
will.
man.
Fuck it, why not?
Do it. Why not?
But the main character, he goes back to Earth after retiring from the space station from Weyland Yutani. He ends up like trying to reconnect with his son. It turns out that his son is part of an organization that, because Weyland Yutani is still set up as a biological weapons manufacturer,
Mm,
which they're creating the fucking xenomorphs at this point.
basically, I'm sure.
Um, so he's trying to get back in touch with the son. His son doesn't want anything to do with them because he's been gone for so long. Um, the book takes a little bit of turns for the worse, but oh god, the ending! I can't wait to sink my teeth into issue 2 because that's when shit really starts to pick up. But I love the setup they did for this. Really awesome. Um, they show like not a whole lot of violence in the whole book. Not too much crazy shit, but we finally do get some like foreshadowing towards the next issue, which is going to be
Oh,
awesome.
nice.
The artwork is great. It's really more tries to go for a more realistic touch on the artwork,
Hmm.
giving the more of the facial expressions to the characters, giving a little bit more, you know, uh, oh my God, emotion to them through their facial structures because like the story doesn't really like it's a story, but it doesn't tell you like doesn't have any inner monologuing or anything like that. So you're basing all this on their feelings and stuff. But we do get to see like some of the face huggers. We do see the xenomorphs, what they're going to be drawn like. I'm not going to ruin what you're going to see on the first page, but you're going to really like it because they show a creature I've never seen before, and you're going to look at it and you're going to be like, it's very, very familiar. And when you see it, you'll know. Um, all in
Wait.
all, yeah, it's a very familiar face. You're gonna be like, oh. And let's just say it has something to do with a female xenomorph, and it's not the queen.
Ah man, I'm already like I might be sad actually after saying this.
Okay.
So
I think I'm gonna be
Okay.
sad.
I'll leave it at that. So it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I did, and I don't normally do this. I don't like to do this, but I did pick up this cover artwork, which is the Alien Queen.
Ooh,
But I
yeah, yeah,
also
yeah.
bought the Gleason cover, but I don't touch that one.
Yeah, hey man, his covers have been so nice, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I
Dude,
that one's in that one's stashed away.
that was put away.
But I definitely recommend checking out Alien 1. You're gonna enjoy it if you're an Alien fan, because
Of course.
you're finally getting, I guess, more of the story, and you're getting away from Prometheus, which is like all we've had to run on for the last like what, 10 years.
Mhm.
Right, yeah.
So like, yeah, we're gonna get rid of that. But yeah, so check it out. And I'm telling you, man, if issue 2 leads in, continues from where issue 1 left off, I'm gonna be like, this is on my pull list right now, and I'm super excited for it. So it's gonna be great. I can't wait.
Nice.
Yep, super
I might
excited.
have to steal that from you and start reading it.
I'm telling you, you should have read it, dude. You should have read it. Uh,
I I looked through some of the pages, and I don't know.
yeah. See, like,
Monster Hunter kind of took over my life.
same here.
Yeah,
So,
I could tell from both
but
of you.
yeah, that's that, that I don't know, but I recommend it. $5, really great read. I think you're gonna enjoy it. Like I said, if you're an Alien fan, you're gonna enjoy this book. Definitely gonna
Nice.
enjoy it.
Mhm.
So, now all I'm waiting for is the Predator releases they're doing, which are coming in June.
Yeah.
Those are coming
Are
in
those
June.
just covers or is that its own
No.
book?
Okay, so the
So it is its own
covers,
book.
it's gonna be its own book.
Okay, cool.
They're coming out in June. Um, I collected the Predators from the Dark Horse series when they were doing it,
Mm-hmm. I remember
which
those.
I really enjoyed. This is going to be from Marvel's perspective, but it's not a continuation of those books, obviously. Um,
Right.
but I can't wait to read that. And as a lead in, like they did with the Alien cover before Alien got released, all the superhero books are going to have a predator hunting them. So
Nice.
I know
That's cool.
they've released photos you can see online right now. I know it's there's like a xenomorph chasing Spider-Man. There's xenomorph against Wolverine. There's a couple of characters that are going to be on the covers with the
That's
predator
gonna be
stalking them in the
interesting.
background. So you can
Nice.
take
I'm
a look
actually
at those
quite
books.
excited for that.
Yeah, so you can take a look at those online if you guys want to go check that out. Um, but yeah, that's gonna wrap it for this episode. So if you guys liked us, leave a like. Let us know what you guys think. If there's any book you want us to take a look at, and we'll give you our personal review on it. Let us know. And that's gonna do it from me, Serge, Indy, and as always, the voice from beyond, Crystal. But
Bye.
as always, guys,
Keep on reading.